Tornado touchdown, warnings, damage reports, heavy rain, flash flooding. Tropical Depression Chantal is bringing severe storms to central North Carolina. We are on top of the damage reports everywhere from the Sandhills to the Triangle. Thank you for joining us here. I'm Dan Haggerty. So our area has seen 5 tornado warnings, and a flash flood warning continues now for parts of our area until later this evening during today's WRAL Weather Alert Day. Our team has been on top of this, on top of the storms, tracking the damage in the field, in the live center, and in the severe weather center. And that's where we'll start with meteorologist Mike Mays with where things stand right now. Mike.
Well, Dan, that tornado that touched down in Lee County, I wanted to start off with that and show you that we have definitive proof that that occurred. WRAL's debris detector picked up debris elevated 1,000 feet off the ground. There's the jetport. The storm came in from the east, spun up quickly, hit a couple of aircraft and hangars, elevated the debris in the air, and then the storm moved on. And it happened awfully quick around 3 o'clock this afternoon. This is what's going on right now. Live dual Doppler 5000 radar. The heaviest rain over Chatham County, Orange County, Durham counties. A little band moving through. This little band was earlier in this region here that helped to spin up some tornadoes, and we still have to watch that as we head through the next few hours. There are flood advisories, northern Durham County, northern Orange County, till about 8 o'clock. Then you head into the flash flood warnings till 9:15 for parts of southern Durham County, southern Orange County, all of Chatham County, and also to the south in the Sandhills. Despite all the heavy rain already moving out, the flash flood warning continues until about 7:15. So far, Moore County has been hit the hardest. Now, Grant Skinner's here with me now, showing where Chantal is now and where it's headed.
Yeah, so it's weakened a lot over time, but with that, still a lot of tropical moisture bringing tropical downpours. And with that flash flooding, winds now at 30 miles per hour. The center was over the Sandhills as of the 5 p.m. advisory. It'll work its way north, then eventually north and east, and it will continue to weaken over time. But with that, still a lot of tropical moisture. The downpours still continue, and a flood watch is still in place for the area. This includes much of the western half of this area, and some areas of the north and east may still see some downpours, but not as big of a flood threat. But flood watch is in place through 6 a.m. Monday as this weather alert day does continue across the region. Here's the 6-hour rainfall totals over much of the area down through Southern Pines. 10 plus inches, radar estimated over 8 inches for some other spots. Through the Triangle, 1 to 1.5 inches. But areas west have seen a significant amount of rain, and we're still tracking the threat for flash flooding throughout the rest of this evening and the possibility for brief spin-up tornadoes. I'll break down some more details on the timing of these showers and storms through tomorrow morning, and we'll talk more about your storm chances for the rest of the week coming up in just a bit.
All right, Grant, sounds good. Thank you. And as Mike was just saying, that radar confirmed tornado touching down near the Raleigh Executive Jetport in Lee County this afternoon. WRAL's Willie Danley is out there. He joins us now live. Give us a lay of the land, Willie. What kind of damage are we seeing out there?
Well, Dan, I've spoken to several people who live in this area, and they tell me that this severe weather came through hard and fast. Right now, I'm in a mobile home community right down the street from the jetport, and here's a look at some of the damage. This mobile home right here actually has been deemed unsafe to live in. You can see some of those cinder blocks that have been blown out of the place, making the support for this trailer very difficult to sustain any sort of weight. This is another one right here. All of the siding has been ripped off the bottom of it. Over here, there's an elderly couple who live in this trailer. She told me that the greenhouse right behind her mobile home was blown down, glass thrown into her home. Her husband's not able to walk. It was blown all over him in the bed. She described the situation as extremely scary. Right now, the people living in this area do not have any power. There are power crews that are working to fix those power lines as we speak. We're going to continue to remain out here and keep you up to date with these severe weather conditions. Back to you.
All right, Willie, thank you. Of course, the wind has died down there. The rain still pouring where Willie was. We have the WRAL storm tracker headed to the Sandhills this afternoon, where we have seen and heard some reports of flooding and water rescues in that area. WRAL's Eric Miller is joining us live outside of the storm tracker. Eric, you again on that Southern Pines area where there was some flooding behind you. Give us an idea of what it looks like.
Well, Dan, certainly a difficult day for a lot of folks out here. You're looking at the aftermath of a dam break here in Southern Pines. You look behind me, this is Hunter Trail, this road going right across. This isn't the dam that broke. That is actually upstream. What happened here, this was the result of that wall of water moving downstream, sweeping away trees, even at one point sweeping a car down into the woods there. We're told by neighbors that the driver of that car actually tried to cross the floodwaters after that dam broke and ended up getting swept down there into the trees. Those neighbors telling us rescuers were able to get that driver out safe. What you're looking at right now is the active cleanup that's happening right now. Crews using an excavator to break up some of the pine trees that were washed down in this flash flooding. At the same time that firefighters are starting to work on the car that was swept down into the woods there, starting to try to prepare it to get towed out of this area. Now, all of this started when the Longleaf Dam broke earlier this afternoon. That happening amid the torrential rain and wind we were seeing in Southern Pines this afternoon. Neighbors tell me that essentially a wall of water came rushing down across the lake after that dam broke, filling several houses around the lake with water several feet deep. The surge was powerful enough to knock people off their feet. That water deep enough, one neighbor tells me, to float his 1,000-pound gun safe that was down in his basement. And this isn't all. There have been issues related to flooding all across Southern Pines. That includes over at the Southern Pines Village, the shopping center there. You take a look at this video. This is back behind the Kohl's and Hobby Lobby there. You can see multiple feet of water, enough to swallow a pickup truck. We haven't learned of any injuries or any issues tied to this incident, but obviously a very difficult day for the folks who were stuck in the water there. That water also knocked over a retaining wall there at the back of that facility, and according to fire officials, they did have to evacuate that portion of the shopping center as a precaution. Some businesses in that area, including the Full Moon Oyster Bar, were also inundated with water. At this point, we're working to learn just how serious the damage in that area is. And again, there were issues all over Southern Pines. You take a look at this other video. This, yet another car that was stuck in the floodwaters. We know from fire officials that they were doing rescues all around Moore County today. From what we've heard at this point, everybody was able to get out safe, including in that incident. Some of the damage, though, it's going to take a while to clean up. If you take a look at this clip here, you can see where floodwaters were actually able to essentially dig a hole in part of a road. It'll be a very busy week ahead for DOT crews as they're working to get all of the impacts of this storm cleaned up. And that includes right here near the Southern Pines Golf and Family Club, where crews are continuing to deal with the impacts of this dam burst. And there's a lot more to talk about here. We've got power outages in the region and more video that's been sent in to us. We want to send things over to Megan Glova in the WRAL Live Center with more on that. Megan.
Eric, here's another indication of just how hard our southern counties were hit. A live look at the Duke Energy outage map. More than 800 people are still without power in Pinehurst. Linden Road is where I'm seeing most of those impacts right now. And take a look at this. Some more people without power, more trouble spots. Holly Springs Road between Raleigh and Apex, 300 without power here, plus 213 in Moncure. And over in Durham, just under 200 south of Duke University Road. Now here's a new spot that caught my attention. 1,000 customers with no power north of Hillsborough. We'll try to get more details on this. Let's get over to RDU now. We're seeing 97 delays and 2 cancellations at the airport. That number just keeps going up. Of course, it's a busy travel day to end the holiday weekend, so we'll keep tracking all of this here in the Live Center. Back to you.
All right, Megan, thank you. We always say when you see that standing water, do not try to drive through it. Let's go to a car that ended up in that standing water in Cary this afternoon. Monica Casey is out there live. This is US 1 North, right off of Tryon Road. This is something that I saw today on my way into work and actually had to avoid and go a different route. Somebody else decided to give it a try. Give us an idea of how things look there.
Yeah, Dan, the issues here were isolated to that on-ramp. If you take a look behind me, the car is gone, but you can see where this happened. There's some debris on the road down there, right where it curves. This is the on-ramp, as you mentioned, from Tryon Road onto US 1 North here. Cary police who were here at the scene say a storm drain in this area was blocked, and that caused water to go over the road here, that ramp deteriorating because of the storm. The Cary Fire Department had to get involved, pulling that car out of the water. Now, luckily, that driver was able to walk away from this incident. No injuries for that person, so some good news there. And if you come back to us live here, you can see no remaining issues on this part of the road. A little bit of ponding, but nothing compared to that video that you were just seeing there. Now, on my drive over here from Durham, I was seeing some ponding over on the Durham Freeway, so that's an area you're going to want to take it slow if you have to be out on the roads here this evening. Dan, we'll send it back to you.
Monica, thank you. And as Monica was explaining, you know, weather like this is going to make things tricky out on the roads for a lot of reasons. Take a look at this video from Moore County again. This is this afternoon. Boy, they got hit hard in Moore County. A huge tree tree crashing down on US 15501 just north of Highway 73 in Carthage. Between the flooded streets and the fallen trees, driving has really been a challenge out there. You can keep track of Chantal with the newly redesigned WRAL weather app. It is free to download and use. Remember, turn on those push notifications so you can get the latest weather updates sent right to your phone.